Good morning. Hey, welcome to P.V.P. My name is Stephen Godfrey. And as I mentioned in one of my last posts, I wanted to come on and engage you in such a way as we're leading up to our rollout. Should be in a couple of weeks. But nonetheless, I will come on and do a lot of smaller episodes, start to build the base and understanding so that folks know exactly intentions of the show, how we're going to launch our publications, how community can access and make it very interactive, not just by way of what I would call um, liking it and or just text. We're going to invite you on screen, engage in what I call real and meaningful topics. In that framework, we're very independent. We want to bring the integrity to what I call podcasting, etc., so that we're not relationship based, such as um, if there's issues that need to be addressed, levels of advocacy, irregardless of positions and where you are, this format will be welcome to you. We will obviously, like most, use cordiality as its best, but be able to dig down into real hard topics. When it comes to elected officials and those that want to be elected officials, we will use this platform to, again, dig down. You will assist in that. There will be a number of ways in which you could participate. One is by just being a viewer. One is also in just sitting in the audience. The other is being a participant or a guest, where you will have the ability to interact, exchange, tag us to say, hey, I'd be willing to come on and engage in topics. But there will be some backdoor rules and guidelines that all must follow, right? So that in fact, we keep the spirit of uplift and cordiality. So, part of this is uh, this format will also then have the ability when we have guests. And we won't just do it in studio, we will do it on the road, use all forms of technology. Some will be edited, some will be live, and it will be shot through all platforms. I think it's important, right? Everything now is local, looking at what's happening at the national, and I think that we have obligations. Um, and if you are blessed enough to have the ability, time, effort, and think that our community is important enough, use your platforms in all means of uplift and education. In that, be truthful and understand that truth sometimes hurts. And hence the reason why we don't want to be relationship based. And I raise that to say a couple of things that just came out in the local press. And here, one of the main topics is sounds like, per the Herald this morning, that City Councilor Ed Flynn's camp has been snubbed by the progressive leadership. And they then highlighted Rujen, who is our city council president, as engaging, and they make inference to what I call race based politics. This is kind of, I think that it's and whether, and let me be clear about something on my position. I am just reporting third party of what has already been reported, and you guys can go and take a look. But I think that it's extremely important in these times that we're all very cautionary. Elected officials are supposed to um, work together to bring cohesive services to the community, by way of constituent services, policies, and furthering the agenda of social justice. In that spirit, though, it has to be a cautionary tale that all are not going to get along. The diversity of Boston has to be reflective of your local leadership. And yes, there has to be some working together, but it has to include all, from what I call the pogo sticks to potholes, to the economic issues, to the social issues, and empowerment as a whole. If that is not part of the formula, I think folks really need to consider who you're hiring in September and November, because understand what's happening at the national level should not should make the local level stronger, not more divisive. And so I say that to say cautionary, look at your facts and your details, but it's important that we have a solid union of city councilors, mayor, state legislators, and governors, right? So that Massachusetts can protect itself over the next 4 years. There's already been implications. And that really needs all of Boston, not part, not some, all. And I believe that at a time where divisive politics is highlighted, and here that I'm a little bit of a Boston historian, so I go back to, and I've studied past presidents, I go back to the Flynn administration, but get it that the tactics of isolation is not limited to elected officials. Uh, it always happens in community advocacy, etc. People don't want to rock with certain folks because they claim they don't know them, and most folks don't even know the details of how people move. But there's judgment provided all the time, and I hope my Puritans of services hear me, because those of us that do it for all the right reasons, you don't get caught up in what I call BS politics, right? You keep it moving, and people that ain't in the same room with you may be a blessing and a lesson. Not everybody deserves to be in the same room. There's a level of capacity and um, movement of policy, right policy, transparency of policy that everybody can't rock with. That's why everyone's not invited. And then the rooms that are invited, some of them are not rocking at the capacity that benefits the larger community. So if we're rocking at a time like this, going back to the Herald article, and again, I'm not on a position of what's true and what's not true. But what I am here to do is report the idea and the values that Boston needs all people working together. And if, in fact, folks who have been deemed neutral in certain communities, there's been a lot of conversations before that article broke of people's spirit of neutrality and people's responses, etc. This is not a time to think that um, what transpired in DC locally, that there is a groundswell of support because, I think, our governor is being quiet and strategic for a reason. Because I think folks who really understand the big picture understands the implications of when you don't fight the federal government and the White House. And if you do, um, it's relationship based strategy and movement. You never, and those of us that grew up around the way, you never tell a bully you're coming. So I just want to say that hopefully that article is a indicator of what we should not be doing in this election cycle, right? But again, coming back to the show, I say this is again those topics, and then I know when we go live on all platforms. If I was launching this now, I know a number of y'all will be chiming in, and in the PVP format, I'll be using captions, etc. And I will also provide ways in which you can come online and talk to me. Um, but get it that on this stage, as I am also a public facilitator, I will make sure that I maintain the integrity, make sure that everything's factual, point people to facts because we don't always have to, we can cite facts, we don't always have to present them here. And I think we will then examine what I call issues and topics of such, right? Looking at kind of some of our daily topics and things that are happening in our communities, examine them, and again, hopefully allow people to take this information, engage with us live, um, and or in the recording, give us some details, some facts, allow us to do our data research and analysis, and then report back out to you. We want to make sure that our format is spontaneous, recognizing all of those from the unsungs to the prestige, and making sure that the community is really engaged. The other part of that is also setting up a foundation where we will advertise local events, Boston happenings, and things of that nature, so that people can go and build a deeper community. Um, and we will also then cite the contacts, etc. So um, just want to take the opportunity to say, hey, share a little bit, and hopefully give you something to look forward to in April. Again, have a blessed day and take advantage of the activities that are happening in the community. Peace.